The CEO of Sweden. Start it over. The CEO of IKEA was elected president of Sweden. I hear he's still assembling his cabinet. Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip, the Meeple on duty, and today we are going over a Gamefound campaign, crowdfunding campaign. As you can tell from the title of the video, this is Scarface 1920. Now, disclaimer before I even get into this, I've never played this game. I skipped the first campaign because I think at that point I had already invested in a lot of other things that I did not feel like getting into this one per se at the moment. And we'll get into some. I'm gonna try and do a better job of covering what I can tell from my angle. So first off, what is Scarface 1920? Scarface 1920. Can I say it 3 more times? I don't know. I'm going to say it a lot. I can already tell today. It's going to be the words I repeat over and over and over. What you're doing in Scarface 1920 is you are playing as mob bosses with your own gang, taking over the city of Chicago in 1920s Prohibition era United States. And this is a deck builder and primarily deck builder area control game with some worker placement put in there as well. It looks big on your table. This is a game hog, unashamedly. Or a table hog. This is going to take up every square inch of table space you have, and sometimes you're gonna have to get creative to do that. So, be forewarned on that one as well. Let's get right into it. Now I'm going to flip over a screen here. This is the first campaign that was done on Kickstarter, and I am bringing it up because the second campaign assumes you're familiar with the first or playing the game in general. Build your criminal empire. Grow and lead your gang. You start with a deck of cards that everybody has pretty much the same cards in their deck, and you're going to be able to have the ability to recruit more in that deck to create a greater variety in your deck and kind of create some asymmetry in your actions that you can do. Rule the city. You're going to try and take over businesses in town, areas, entire zones of the city to work as your gang's domain. You're going to pull the strings, bribing judges, politicians, master the underworld, building up your gang, watch out for Mr. Ness because they're going to break you. And the end goal, as you can see here, is take all the money at the end of the game. How this works on your turn, I've got the rulebook pulled up right here to explain it a little bit better. You're going to use your cards from your deck that you have in your hand. You're going to lay out 1 or 2 cards for free. Every card over 2 attracts more law attention. So if you want to have a big round, you can do that, but understand it's going to draw a lot of law enforcement's attention to you. So once you lay out all the cards you're going to play, you're going to carry out 1 order and all the skills and jobs that you want to play at that time. Then you're going to draw new cards, and the next player picks their turn. Or, if you have no cards in your hand or your deck, you're going to reorganize. They're going to pull a extra, if triggered, on the time track, and we'll get into that there's better videos over how this game actually plays. But when you lay out your cards, you get muscle and you get negotiation or whatever the little handshake is on each card. Plus they have skills or actions, skills, things like that. You'll draw up new cards, and then it's the next player's turn. There are a lot of things you can do on your orders and how that all goes. So, I'm not going to go into that super deep because I don't want this video to be 3 hours of me figuring out how to play a game from a rule book online. I do not read very well digitally. It just takes me forever, and I don't like staring at a computer screen that long, even though I do it too much. But that's kind of the first campaign and how you play the basics. Now let's get into the Bloody Business expansion and reprint of Scarface 1920. This is giving seasoned and experienced players more to do and more to play with in the game. It's giving more routes to get the same stuff done, and it's making it's just filling out a lot of stuff. This game is already, from what I can see, kind of a beast to play with on Board Game Geek. We'll get there eventually for the whole page, but it's pulling a 3.71, which is Paladins of the West Kingdom, which I find to be a very challenging game. But this, to me, reading the rules and watching some gameplay videos of this is a little more straightforward in how you get to where you need to go. This is going to also expand, if you get everything in this campaign, this is going to expand the ability to play up to 6 players because it introduces 2 new rival gang factions. We'll get into those guys. So the expansion board is going to have basically a stock market and a hospital and most wanted things and political elements to it. This adds a lot. From what I can tell, it adds it in a good way rather than a bad way. So you have the expansion board with all those extra things added into it. You have angry bosses, so your bosses actually get out on the battlefield if you need them to. You have extra government men in there that are going to mess with your board in different ways and your plans in different ways. You have corrupt politicians, because of course you do. You have street gangs that add in extra strength where you need them, or if you want to play with them. We're adding new cards, new jobs, more associates, extra events. The hospital, so instead of dying, they can go to the hospital and get repaired. You got extortion now as a thing. You have a business track that I've already kind of went over that the lower it gets, the less the payout. So if you went all in on one strategy of type of business, you can sink how much money you actually get in return. Most wanted tokens help you take down people and you get stuff for it. The part that I really enjoy about this is everything is getting a neat, tidy, from day one, well thought out strategy or inserts to get the game out and get it put away quickly. If this is a table hog, I don't want to be sorting through 2 hours of gameplay setup. Yes, I'm looking at you, Gaia Project. As much as fun as I have had playing it and trying to figure out that puzzle, it is a beast to get to the table because there's no organization in the box whatsoever. Which I got my printer. I need to figure out how to do that. That's entirely side tangent. Moving on. Another reason I'm really looking at this is while the first one I really looked at and was like, I gotta pass right now. They've decided, they actually have it on here. They've decided that retail option is not the way that they're going with this and with their games in general. If you want their games, you will order them on Gamefound and they are going to make that. They are essentially a boutique game design company. And you are paying those prices because, of course, you are. They have stretch pay, So you can knock down how much you're paying at once and spread it out if you don't have all the money on hand and you're living cash only. The 2 new gangs add in some very different mechanics. Pause for drink. The Golden Oaks are Canadians bringing in their whiskey. Canadians, I tell you. And you have 2 bosses. Their dynamic is different in that instead of being able to activate 3 actions on your boss, you can activate 2 on each of their boards. This is a little more upkeep. You're going to get the same 9 boss cards, the thugs, the control markers, everything that you get with the others. You also get a liquor track. And what you're trying to do with these guys is you're trying to get your liquor sold. The more you do that, the more options you have and the better you're going to be doing in this game. They also get the custom insert tray like all the other factions have. The next one was the Red Dragons. These guys are straight up opium dealers. You are going to be spreading opium dens around the board. You're going to be using your opium packets. Here, let's slide on down to them. Great sculpts on all this, by the way. I am very impressed with all that. You are going to be getting opium dens out. They're going to give you extra actions that you can do that you flip over once you use until you reorganize. It gets the same modular insert that all the other ones do, but as you spread those opium dens, you get more cards, more options to do. You can then sell your opium tokens to use as an extra resource. This is adding a lot of extra stuff. They have great animations on their campaign page, which, by the way, it will be linked down below. Bunch of videos on how to get it. You can get this. They're also doing the reprint. They are pretty honest with the 90 to 150 minutes. The videos that I've been watching of playthroughs are averaging about just over 2 hours with, I think both of them had 3 players at the table. If you look at the size of this is, like I said, it's a table hog. It's going crazy. You're going to get everybody's factions in their own colors and styles. That's actually what I really like. They didn't just make one thug unit. They made different units for each one. So you're going to have fun doing all that. You get all the pieces, the high quality components. And it has inserts, so you're going to get your player and move on. The Enforcers is coming with this, so you get all the Enforcers as well. Oh, there's the rule books for it if you want to go check that out. Let's skip down here to us. We have a bunch of stretch goals that are being revealed day by day, so they're just getting added as we go. So more content is constantly being added. They've already announced all this stuff, so more associates, the expansion box to hold everything that doesn't fit in the main box. The rewards, you can just get the Bloody Business expansion. You can just get the 2 new, if you don't want the expansion or whatever, you can just get the extra 2 gangs. You can get all those, the new content together. You can get the original. You can get the original and that. I mean, they got a lot of different packages. What I do like about these packages is they are not upping the price and just throwing on cheap sleeves. That is key for me. I didn't realize how much I did not like that till I was looking at a few other campaigns, and it's like, I really want the all-in, but I don't want the sleeves. The sleeves are usually not a high quality, and so they're going to break on you. The add-on section is what's getting me. Yes, I understand. You can see right here. Check that mouse. I'm in for a pinch, in for a pound. I I typically don't, I go big or go home on a lot of these campaigns, especially when I know this one should hold its value because of everything going on. So you got the plastic tokens. I really don't like that the plastic money is separate from the painted goods. To me, that should all be together in one big bundle. So like those and the plastic business markers, I feel those should all be together. And then the sleeve bundle I get because you have the different bundles. So that is kind of the big, broad overview of the game. Why I'm seriously looking at this game, even though it's a little high on the complexity rating for me and Heather, but from what I've heard, it actually plays fairly well at 2 players. And we'll switch over here to the Board Game Geek, because this is a decent metric. Yes, I know it's flawed and all that, but it gives a general understanding of a game that doesn't have terrible much exposure yet or time in the field, because the first one has delivered about 4 months ago, and new stuff is constantly coming up on the page. Now, mind you, this is off of 1,000 rankings, 1,000 ratings, and 280 comments off of those 1,000. We can just come in here. So just looking at this, it's got a steep learning curve, so give yourself a couple hours for everyone just to understand the rules. Okay. 1 to 4, very complex first game learning and remember everything to do while forming a strategy. 4 or 5 turns to get it start sinking in. Okay, these are things I like to hear. Early review after 4 games, 2 players, take some time to get familiar with all the orders you can choose from, one of the 15 available. So people with analysis paralysis, be aware of that. You're going to have 15 things you can pick from on your turn if this is a game you're into. But once that is handled, really satisfying to play in that sandbox. Appearance of the game is excellent. Try the game to see if my opinion actually pretty good. Most of the mechanics are unique and fun. I really enjoyed it. Biggest downside is the game is really heavier than I imagined. Things going on, so many things to focus. Because of this problem, I don't see myself. We'll come to the table, which was a little lighter. So good. World Blast. There's nothing. Tons of options and gorgeous realized world. But messy raid system and lack of reasons to talk with other players at the table may leave you feeling hungover. That's not bad. Value is refreshing. The theme comes through and the gameplay is just what I was hoping for. Top 5 on the list for the year so far. That's pretty good review. Solo and 4-player. Yeah. So a lot of these are coming down to what I was going to get into in my final thoughts here as I kind of wrap it up. This game, they have reproduced the... Actually, let's go ahead and switch back to this here because I don't really need that up. They have taken the time with the art, with the world around it to really, and the production value to really bring the theme to the forefront on top of a very heavy, crunchy game. If that's what you're looking for, and the crunchiness, the heaviness comes from the fact that they give you a lot of options on how you build out your game and how you win how you generate money to win the game. It's not a bad thing, but it's a lot to remember and internalize. Is it, from what I can see, it's not okay, I want to do this, so I have to check the rules to see how this actually works to go together so I can actually do that. It's more of I have 15 options. Which one is going to be the right one at this moment? And it becomes a puzzle of tearing that apart to keep yourself moving in a trajectory of which way you should be going. And I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm kind of there for that. That sounds fun, whereas a lot of other harder games, it's not as much fun. I'm also a sucker for this era and time frame that they're doing it in. And Chicago's, I'm based in Iowa, so Chicago's a close by area. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. I am holding off till later in this campaign. Like I showed you, I have a bunch of stuff in my cart right now, and I'm kind of waiting to see how it goes. I really wish that expansion box to hold everything was not an add-on, but a part of the big all-in bundle. That's an extra $30. Yes, I know that shouldn't be 8 by them, but I figured it should be thrown in, or maybe a little less, just for that. And I know it's a big box, but it's also a big empty box, and I have a hard time paying money for a big empty box. That is going to also, they did explain in the picture there that it is a big empty box. It also means that the shipping box that they send you is bigger. That means that they're going to charge you more for the shipping of said big empty box. I'm not sure I appreciate that much. I'd rather have 2 big boxes completely full of all the stuff rather than getting, what was it, like 5 or 6 boxes? Hold on. Yeah, it'd be 3 small boxes, 2 big boxes, or a big box in the big, huge base box. I'd rather get it in the big base box and then the big expansion box just stuffed with everything, so I don't have to get rid of extra expansion boxes. I know some people are weird and hoard them all. I personally do not. Although those, oh, now I'm distracted. The gang boxes and enforcer boxes look like pretty good size to rescale a game into, which I do a lot of. So that's all I've really got. I'm going to let you guys go. Leave a comment down below what you think of this game, if you've played it, your thoughts on it. If you're a backer on this campaign, let me know. I'm just, like I said, I'm processing out loud here, and I'm very tempted to get this one, but I got to talk Heather into getting it for me, with me. Anyways, you guys are awesome. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys next time. All right. Bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.